everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin, she's Stevie.
Hi.
And, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I was going with that.
It is early.
Yeah, it's a little early, but...
And if you ever see me coming in here on a Saturday morning with one of these on, that means I probably didn't get great sleep last night.
Well, let's go into that, because we talked about you went to a party.
Yes.
And it was, of course, it was a Taylor Swift theme party.
Yeah, it was thrown by the Blue Note, and it was I think it was advertised as like Taylor Swift, like DJ dance party or something. And me and my group of friends, we went to another like DJ party at the Blue Note like last year, and it said like Dolly Parton.
Okay.
And someone else, and they played like one Dolly song, so we're like, okay, maybe it'll be just more of like a dance party for the girls, you know?
Yeah.
But it was Taylor Swift, like it was just Taylor Swift, which was elated. I was ecstatic about. It was so much fun, and we all dressed up as different eras. It was so much fun. I highly recommend it. And it was like all girls, so it was like so safe.
Yeah.
Amazing. Fabulous.
Okay. That's not my type of event.
Right.
In general, not even just because it's Taylor Swift, just
like up and dancing.
General, not a dancer.
Yeah.
Don't really care about going to see a DJ. That's not my type of music, really.
Well, a DJ can play any music.
Yeah, but I don't know why I would want to go. I don't know why I would want to pay to go see a DJ just play the song when I can literally just play the song in my house.
Right. The only reason you would, which by the way, tickets were like $10. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like a concert ticket price. But yeah, if you want to get up and dance, this is something for you.
That makes sense. I'm guessing if it's dance, there's not seats.
No. Everyone was just general admission. I'm sure there's always like a VIP option at these things, but it probably just gets you like a free drink or something. It doesn't get you like a special, because it'd be chaos.
Well, yeah, because you can't have seats if there's going to be people just everywhere dancing.
If it's a dance floor.
Yeah.
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 It's hard to maintain. I guess you could get like a
rope
going and get some bodyguards, but you know, once again, it'd be chaos.
Yeah.
But stuff like that is challenging. I went actually over the summer. I went to see Pauly D from Jersey Shore, who's just a DJ. Yeah. Just plays random music.
But you're also going to see him more than you are just going for the music in that case.
That's a whole nother story. But both times, general admission tickets. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the Pauly D one was more like people wanted to get as close to him as possible. So people were getting there really early. Yeah. Because they were like, well, I want front row. And that's what you have to do because everyone's general admission. But there's always people that think they can like kind of snake their way up to the front. And you probably can. Like, it's not that hard if you're just one person. Yeah. But if you want to come up and then like you want us to like scoot down for your friend, and then they have another friend, like, that's not cool. Yeah. And I remember at that event, me and my friend Grace, shout out Grace, we went together, and we were, like, holding on to the front, because there's, like, metal
there's like a gate, yeah.
We're holding on to the gate for dear life, and it got to a point where I was like, this is ridiculous, let's just not be in the front. Yeah. We just ended up scooting more, like, to our right. But everyone's just trying to get up front so bad. And people will get in fights at stuff like that over not being in front. And it's so stupid.
I don't like general admission for that. Like, I don't want to have to fight for a place to sit or a good view.
No,
I want to just give me a seat. I want to pay for my seat and be there. That's it. I'll wherever I want to. I can choose where I sit. That's fine. And I'll pay a different price for where I sit. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with general admission. I've done it once, and it was just a pain. And it wasn't even that bad because people weren't really. It was a Leonard Skinner concert years ago. Me, my dad, and uncle went to see him, and it wasn't like people weren't really fighting to get around. And it was just in like a parking lot. It was at at Fort Leonard Wood, the military base, and
rock and roll.
Yeah, so it was just in a parking lot that like a big parking lot that they had that was just open there, and it was a fun show.
Yeah,
but the whole general admission aspect of it is kind of
a mess.
Yeah,
big mess.
Yeah,
but regardless of the chaos, it was so much fun, and I would do it again. That's like, I wish every time I went out was like that.
The
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that. I'm sure that was fun.
Being in a room of a bunch of girls just like crying over the 10-minute version of All Too Well it was like a religious awakening.
It sounds ridiculous, but I know what it is.
The girls I went with, they were like, we don't really know all the songs, so I was a little nervous but I think Taylor Swift is one of those artists, you're surprised by how many songs you know because she just has so many hits.
Yeah.
And they're used commonly on like social media, like they go trending. And so I think they were even surprised how many songs they actually knew. But like that song, I didn't think that many people knew it. I don't know why. It's like literally one of her most famous songs. And I thought...
What is it called?
All Too Well. And it's a song that it was on the Red album, and it was kind of, I think, underrated when she first released the album. It ended up kind of being this, like, everyone wanted her to play it at every concert. People loved it. And then when she re-released Red as Taylor's version, she released a 10-minute version of it. And you would think a 10-minute song is crazy for someone who can't even watch, like, a 2.5-hour movie.
Especially your age group.
Yeah. You would think it cannot hold our attention. Quickest 10 minutes ever. Every time I listen to it, I'm amazed.
Which is weird to me, because I was talking with somebody about a song. I've talked with girls before, and guys both, about songs like that.
Yeah.
Especially from the 70s, 80s, because there's a lot of long songs in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, I know.
And they're just like, that's too long of a song. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's a great song. That, like, I really like November Rain by Guns N' Roses. It's like 9 minutes long.
Yeah.
Hotel California by the Eagles is like 6.5, 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of big name songs that are long, and they're just like, oh, that's too long. Like, what do you mean it's too long? It's a great song, though. But it's not their type of music, so that's probably what
it's not Taylor Swift. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's not popular right now, so that's...
That's the thing, yeah. And every time I listen to it, like I said, I'll be 5 minutes in, because she has a normal version that's maybe 4.5 minutes. I always, if it just comes on, I'm like singing it. I don't even know it's the 10-minute version until I'm like 8 minutes in, and I look, I'm like, oh. That's just how, you just don't think about it. It's just so, especially when you know every word. Also, I feel like knowing every word is crazy. The fact that we all knew every single word, like, what is wrong with us?
I mean, I know the words to a lot of songs, so it's not,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I thought, like, oh,
if you like
no
a
one's
song,
gonna know, and not everyone in this room's gonna know every word to a 10-minute song, but I'm so proud of us. We all did.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, more power to you guys. So staying on music and recent music and new music.
Yeah.
Did you, well, I know because I just had you listen to it. You just for the first time listened to the new
I'm
Beatles,
like getting excited.
Beatles song.
Uh-huh.
The not new / old / middle-aged Beatles song.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I think it's fine. I think it's a gift that we're able to still have new music from the Beatles. All like this, they broke up in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. So
50 years later, we get a song that's amazing. I love that we're able to have that. But it's fine. It's John's voice, which isn't my favorite. So we'll start there. Sorry.
Hot take.
Sorry. Not my favorite, but in the world, I just mean out of the Beatles, I would rather hear Paul or George sing. And I think I need to listen to the lyrics more and appreciate it more. I just listened to it before we started recording.
And you didn't even listen to the whole thing. You just kind of yeah.
But there's so many great Beatles songs. It's hard to be like, wow, that's the best. You know.
Well, it's also. I mean, it is. It's new that you're hearing it, but it was recorded like John's voice was recorded in like the 70s.
Right.
So, and it's got. So, from what I understand, they didn't. It has. In the 90s, they found a cassette tape. Yoko Ono found a cassette tape that had John playing this song. He was playing the piano and singing. And at the time, they didn't have the technology to separate the two, and you couldn't really hear his singing over the piano.
Okay.
So, George at the time, he was still alive, so he put down a couple things with it and like recorded some things with it. And then they left it alone. And now we have the technology where they can separate John's voice from the piano, and they did that, and then they re-recorded everything else.
Dude, this is, I don't know if we have an answer to this, but like, when did we get that technology?
I mean, I would say it must be relatively recent, or they would have done this before.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you think someone was in their office coming up with this, finally got it right, and was like, bringing in the song?
I would say it's probably been in the works for a while. Like, I'm sure they had some sort of technology.
It wasn't just like a day.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, okay, well, it's good now. We're good to go. I'm sure it's been like slowly getting better about the ability that it does. And I watched a YouTube, one of the music YouTube channels I watched. He like showed how it worked by recording himself singing basically the same thing and then running it through this program. And it is amazing how it can like separate them both, and you can't tell that it's not two separate things.
To do it from what you said, it was on a cassette tape that was probably recorded
in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the quality must have not been on par with what you would record today. So that's really impressive that it sounds so good.
He also talked about that it kind of, when you listen to John's voice, it kind of sounds like was recorded a long time ago. Like it sounds a little off. I don't notice it that much, but I don't have that good of an ear for music. I mean, this guy was he was a music professor. It's a good channel, Rick Beato. It's a good channel if you
Rick, if you're watching.
Yeah, he's not watching.
I'm sure he's not.
But it is a good channel if you want some music insight and some cool interviews. He talks to a lot of really interesting people, and that's really fun. But yeah, that's it's really interesting concept. I know a lot of musicians don't like the AI aspect of it, because they're worried that's going to take over. Like, they're worried that's going to become too much of a thing, which is part of the reason that the actors and writers strike was just a thing. It's
not a valid concern.
Yeah, like, you don't want something else to take over your job. I totally get that. That would be not a good thing.
Right.
But it is cool that we have the ability to do that at the same time. Nope. You good?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not bored, I promise. Where does the AI come, like, I guess it's the music, the track, not his voice is where the AI comes into play?
No, the AI comes into play being able to separate his voice from the piano.
Yeah, okay.
Basically using machine learning to know, like, okay, this we want to keep here, and this we want to keep here.
I would argue
separating the two.
Yeah, I would argue that's just, when you say like, oh, AI helped make this song possible, it sounds like it came up with like the lyrics, or it put in fake John Lennon's voice. You know what I mean? That's where my head goes. I feel like that's just using technology.
Yeah, but I think that's the concern, is that you're going to get to that point. I mean, you can already mimic people's voices very well, with AI, and I mean, that's been a problem recently with a lot of scams. Like, you parents get a phone call when it sounds like you asking for help because you're in trouble. Like, and that freaks people out.
Right.
But it's it's a concern for artists, because they they know that you can do that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And try to make music without people being around.
I get it. It makes sense. But I think in this situation, I think it was more help than it was.
Yeah,
like,
I would
scare us
I would
quite
agree
yet.
in this situation for sure that it's not. It doesn't seem to be used nefariously. It's just like we want to put this out, and we have the ability now we have the technology now to separate two things from somebody who's not around anymore to do it himself, to like record it himself again.
What does nefarious mean?
Nefarious?
Yeah.
Like in bad faith?
Use it in a different sentence.
I mean,
just like bad intentions.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's a mean thing to do. That's nefarious.
Yeah.
Nefarious. I like that word.
Typically, an action of activity, wicked or criminal, is what the definition is.
I'm gonna use that.
You've never heard nefarious?
I have, but I don't. I think I just have heard it and kind of disregarded it.
Just like passing and didn't care. Okay.
How often do you hear nefarious? I feel like that's not the most common.
I mean, it's not a real common word, but I've heard it before, and I've used it before. Obviously, I just used it here. Mm-hmm. Learning words with Stevie.
Yeah.
Are you writing it down?
No.
Oh. How often have you used the horse of a different color, speaking of using words?
Actually, the other day, I did. I've been trying to use it so much more. Will and I will, if we hear like a saying, a funny little saying we try to use it. I want to say, what did I say it about? I can like picture it. I was in the car. I said it about something. I did use it. And then I also have been using, we watched, oh God, I'm not being, my memory right now is not great. We watched something recently. And one of the actresses said, bring that up one more time. We'll have to take a vote on it. And I just remember being like, that is just the slyest thing I've ever heard. And now we keep saying that. Like, if you bring that up one more time, we'll have to take a vote on it. And it's just so stupid, but we love to do it.
Well, everybody has their inside jokes, so I guess it works.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of Will, he did the cutest thing. He doesn't always listen to all the episodes because he's like, I hear your voice nonstop. Like, too much. But the other day I was like, I wish you would listen. Like sometimes I talk about stuff on there that maybe I haven't brought up. Who knows? I talk about whatever. He like literally did homework and like sat down, listened to like 3 episodes in a row one night, took notes, and then asked me like 20 questions the next day about what we talked about. Just to like bring up conversation, talk about something different for once. And I just thought I was just touched by that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fun.
It is. I think it's fun to like, even like have friends. If I don't know, what friends are listening to this all the time, but like when like Nikki texts us and is like, "Oh my God, like you guys said this. I want to put in like my piece or ask more further questions about it." I always really like that. That's like why that's why I like to do this stuff.
Yeah. Well, the whole point is community. Like
exactly. Being an insufficient friend.
Being an insufficient friend. That is the whole point. And the more insufficient friends we can have, the better.
Yeah.
And we have fun talking, and we hope you guys have fun getting involved as well. So.
Yeah. Oh, and what's your friend's name that said the thing about Rockwell when we were debating?
Dan.
Okay, he posted a link to like Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what I.
Okay, I didn't know if he had just told you in person.
No. I was the link. Right? I don't see Dan nearly as much as I used to because he mostly works on the week. He just works on the weekends, I think now. So I don't see Dan usually just in passing, like once a week. But it's always fun to see Dan. I always enjoy talking to him. So
yeah, well, good. I was looking through like the comments this morning trying to see if we had any new ones, and I saw that link, and I clicked on it.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, I thought he had just told you.
No. That was
and then also posted the link, and I want to be like, okay, Dan, we get it.
No, I'm pretty sure I said he posted a link about it, but
Great. I'm clearly not listening.
Oh man. And it's our shout out. We didn't have any new posts or anything this week, so
Come on, guys.
Okay, that was you're doing great. Thanks. Anyway,
keep it coming.
We're recording this on Veterans Day.
Oh, that is true. Yes.
So shout out to everyone who has served this country and fought for our freedom.
Yes.
Thank you. We very much appreciate it. Don't know what we would do if we didn't have people willing to do that.
Especially,
and we are very thankful for the people that do.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
So, our CEO is a veteran.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. He was in the Navy for several years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
My grandfather was in the Navy as well.
Maybe they knew each other.
No, I think my grandpa's a little older.
Oh, okay.
No, he's my grandpa was in the Navy in the I want to say the mid to late 50s probably.
Okay.
That would be about the time span I would guess. Yeah, probably mid to late 50s.
Okay.
So just about a decade after World War II ended. So, but he served during peacetime, so he never saw any actual fighting or anything.
Okay. I believe my great-grandfather was in the Air Force.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Not sure about that.
That could be a lie.
Okay. Well, on that note, I guess. Nope, he's excited. You're excited.
I could talk about this movie. We could have done a whole episode about Pulp Fiction. BTW.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Because I know sometimes you have seen these recently and you don't watch it. And last week you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch it today." I don't know if you watched it.
This
that day,
almost falls into Clockwork Orange territory for me, where every time I watch it, I feel like I see something different that I didn't even notice the last time because it's so colorful and there's so many weird little references and so just meant I get so excited talking about it. Just little things that are so probably minuscule compared to the whole storyline, but they're just thrown in there for the probably purpose of being oh, look at this weird little, there's probably story behind it, but it's just fun for the audience to watch. So I could watch that movie on repeat.
We watched Pulp Fiction. Yes.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction from 1990 something.
It is a 90s movie.
I don't remember what year it's
94.
94. Okay.
Yes.
I just watched it last night, and I do really like the movie. It's a very good movie, and I like almost all Quentin Tarantino movies that I've seen for sure.
There's not enough.
Yeah, there's only 9 or something like that.
9 or 10.
He doesn't make very many.
And I remember him.
He said that he would only make so many.
10,
yeah.
I believe. So either we're waiting on the last one or he's already done it. I think we're waiting on it. I think it's he probably is nervous because it's probably gonna have very high expectations.
Yeah. But I did one of my favorite tropes in the whole movie. Jokes that kind of is ongoing is that John Travolta's character is always in the bathroom when something crazy happens.
That is funny. It's just it's so silly.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
There's always, whenever he goes to the bathroom, something ridiculous happens.
Yeah. People are dying.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
Why? Come on. There are 10, by the way, before.
There are
10?
10?
I'm sure someone will.
Okay.
We should get fact-checked. We should be making sure we're accurate. But there's 10.
There's 10, okay.
And I don't think he wants to do more.
We'll see if that holds.
Yeah, true.
But, because I would enjoy... Yeah, because I remember seeing a couple years ago, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they talked about, that was, could be the last one or whatever.
Right.
But, back to Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
What did you notice? You said you noticed something new almost every time, or you like little things that are thrown in. What is something that is your favorite of those?
Oh my gosh, I love this wasn't something I just noticed recently, but it's something that always kind of catches my eye, and I'm like, what's the story there? Is when she's like, don't be a, and they draw the square, but like it, like in the movie, there's like an animation of an actual square, and I'm just like, why? That's like clearly that doesn't happen in real life. Yeah. Like, why did he want to add that in there? Why did he want to add this that one cartoon? Time? And there's like, no other animation. There's
no other thing like that in it. It's just that one little thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think that is so funny. I love the beginning. One of the beginning scenes when Samuel L. Jackson is like, they go into like that guy's apartment and they're like eating their breakfast or whatever, and he's just like eating his food, and asking him questions, and then John Travolta characters in the back like going through their cabinet. I don't know. I just think little things are like, what's like the story there? Why'd they choose to do that? But fun fact, I have a fun fact about this movie. So I was listening to an interview of Quentin Tarantino not that long ago. And he said that when he asked Bruce Willis to play, I forget, I don't even know any of their characters' names. I'm bad at that. Thank you. He asked him to play Butch, and Bruce Willis read the script and was like, I'll be in your movie, but I want to be John Travolta's character. And that's the only way I'll be in the movie. Okay. And he was like, he was kind of confused that Quentin Tarantino wanted John Travolta for this role, which, valid. You know, at the time he had just been in Grease, and it's like, not just, but like that was his big movie, and Bruce Willis had like 4 action films in the time. Like, he was more fit for that role. Quentin Tarantino was like, I can't give you that role. Like, it's taken, you know? Yeah. John has it. And then he was like, okay, I want to play Samuel L. Jackson's character. Like, he didn't want to play Butch. Yeah. And so at first he said no to the role. And Quentin was like, well, I want you in this movie. Like, whatever I can do, let me know. And eventually, obviously, he gets him in the movie. But I think that is such a fun story. And I love that, like, honestly, why did he want John Travolta in that role?
Well, I don't know why he picked who he did. But you say John Travolta was just in Grease.
Not just.
I was going to say, okay.
That's what he was, I guess, arguably, he was known for that at the time. And I don't think Hairspray had come out yet. But
no, Hairspray's much more recent than that.
Well, I don't know. It came out when I was a kid. They all get confusing in my head. Came out a long time ago.
Well, yeah, it came out when you were a kid. Pulp Fiction was out way before you were born.
But I mean, the 90s and the early 2000s, you know what I mean? Like, they were probably within a decade. But anyway, when did Grease come out?
Huh?
When did Grease come out?
1978.
Okay, yeah. So not just at all.
It's 15 years, 16 years.
I just feel like he wasn't seen as, like, the action movie guy, the tough guy, versus Bruce Willis had been in so many roles where it was more fitting.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. But also in when you watch Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis is much more of an action character in this movie than John Travolta is.
He's not the main action role. He's not a main character.
Yeah. Well, I would disagree with that because I think that they're all kind of like there's different stories that it follows. So I would consider Bruce Willis one of the main characters in that.
I think it's clear like there's
John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson.
And then like Uma Thurman maybe if we had to pick a third, I think would be the third main character. But
okay.
I think those two are clearly
the
main characters. Anyway, I just think that's a fun little tidbit that Bruce was like, I'm not playing this character.
I don't want to play this character. Yeah.
And Quentin got him to play it anyway. Also, another thing is a great cast. And I love that like people who kind of have small cameos are big actors. Like there's a lot of people. Another fun fact, the guy who robs the restaurant and like that couple, Quentin wanted Johnny Depp to be that character, which I think would have been fabulous.
Johnny Depp's been in several of his movies, so that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
one of my heroes, truly. But yeah, so I love that movie. I think Quentin is very talented. All his movies I tend to like. It's just such a.
They're usually a little off the wall.
Yeah.
But they're very well done.
That's what I like to see.
Off the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know I love Clockwork Orange, which is not.
Yeah, that's
an interesting movie to say you love.
That's a little much for me, but I mean, each to their own.
I'm aware. I'm aware it's out there.
So what are we watching? What are we watching this week, Steve?
We're gonna watch. I already forgot. Toy Story.
Toy Story. Okay. That one should be easy to find. That's a little lighter than Pulp Fiction.
We'll take a break from these like suspenseful kind of action-packed movies. We'll go something a little lighthearted.
Yeah. Okay. Well, right. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and
comment if you want a shout out.
And watch the movie with us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.